What's going on, sports card collectors? It's another day. Game one of the NBA Finals has been played. We wait till tomorrow night for our game number two. I'm going to give you my thoughts. I'm going to give you some ideas and some, as PSA collector would call it, some low-hanging fruit. I call them little golden nuggets. And let's move on. NBA playoffs. Lakers and the Heat. Lakers dominated. Heat are coming up with injuries. I'm going to give you my impressions because they said the road to the finals for the Lakers was a lot easier than Miami Heat, but I will tell you this. Do not put past or discredit the Denver Nuggets and their ability that when they're down, they are able to fight and scrape back to get back into the games. To me, that experience will give the Lakers the one-up in this finals game, and I honestly don't think the Miami Heat have what the Denver Nuggets had and the ability to scrape and claw and get back into a game as they did against the Lakers. With that being said, I am now changing my thought. I was thinking it was going to be another 4-1 series for the Lakers. I think the Lakers are going to sweep. I just think that the Lakers are too big. They're going to wear down Bam, even if he does come back, and they said he is. If he has an injury, that injury is going to be nagging, and when you throw Davis and McGee and Howard at him, that's just too many people, and there's just too many veterans in size, and I think they're going to wear the Heat down, and it's going to be a sweep. Moving away from that, I have not sent out a GMA order yet. I'm going to go over my stack of what I've got working on, but I'm also going to talk about eBay. Trying to find cards for grading. It's getting harder and harder. What I do on eBay is if I'm looking for a particular player or a particular player and a certain card for that player, I'll go through eBay and I will hit the watch list, add it to my watch list really quick because I'm just looking through a bunch of stuff. Then what I eventually do is I go back to my watch list and I blow up the picture that's been taken and look it all over to see, how's the centering, the left to right, the up and down, how clean does the card look. If the picture is blurry or not very distinct and clear, I discredit it. So if you're one of those, I apologize. It could be the best card out there. But if the picture looks too shady for me, I'm not going to take that gamble. But what I've also noticed is the card prices are still being driven by the popular followers or members on eBay or, Instagram or YouTube. So it's being influenced. So it's making it harder and harder to buy even raw cards at a decent price to then turn around and flip it to sell. So what I have been doing is for an example, I got this Jamal Murray card. It just came in. It's a Donruss rookie card, not as optic. So I actually got this at a decent price. I want to say offhand it was for like $5, which was cheap. I'm sorry, I can't get this tape off, but there. So it was pretty cheap. Looking at it, it's hard to tell. I'm taking it out of here. Come on. All right. So, looking at it, I'm not a professional grader. Not too bad. Trying to look at the corners. So, not too bad of a card. Now the prices have jumped up even after the fact that they've played. So I'm just not touching the cards. Like I said, the raw prices are just going sky high. And I know you can't go into the stores. Most of us have complained on the forums and find the Illusions, the Chronicles, or any type of box whatsoever. Mercari prices are even starting to get out of hand. Please research your work because you think you're getting a good deal on Mercari, and then if you go over to eBay, even eBay, and check, and you find out the price is cheaper on eBay. So this is a Panini Threads. So it's a 2014-15 Panini Threads blaster box. As you can see on there, it retailed for $29.99. I actually just picked this up off of Mercari for $35. It was free shipping. So I know that there's been people out there that talk that said, don't spend your money buying the boxes and opening the packs. You're not getting your best bang for your money. I will take my chance with this box. There's 20 cards in this box. So for $35, I'm going to take my chance that I'll recoup my money. Because even if there's a one big card in there and I get that graded out, I'll at least should be able to break even. And then anything after that will be profit. But these are getting even harder to find. Or at least a decent price, because I had picked up some 2017 18 blaster boxes of the Optic and the Prisms, and this was back in like March and April, and they were less than $100 at the time. Now go online and take a look at those blaster boxes. So even the mosaics for this year, the blaster boxes are still selling really high, and a lot of that's been driven because of the fact that individuals are going in there because they want to make their money, and there's no limit set, and they're just buying out what's on the shelf or before it gets on the shelf. Or I like to call it the backdoor sale. Sometimes I wonder if it even makes it off the floor. It's being sold out the back door. So with that being said, moving on. GMA. I've get a lot of feedback, and thank you for the feedback. I've got a lot of questions that are getting answered or asked, and then I'm answering them. Instagram, for some reason, when people are sending messages, some of them are going right through to my messages, and others I have to accept. But GMA does have a grading scale. Somebody had asked me about that, and I had sent the individual the link to the grading scale. But somebody brought up an interesting point, and we talked about PSA and BGS and them, and taking 6 months to return your cards. And somebody had said, I don't remember the specific card because that doesn't matter, the specific card or the exact amount, but somebody had a specific card that they had sent into PSA, and if they had gotten it back, and let's just say it was going to come back a 9 or a 10, the value of that card, if they had gotten it back in a quick turnaround, would have been, let's say, and off the top of my head, was $4,000. Since then, because they are waiting for this grading to come back, the card has dropped down to $1,600. So from an investment standpoint, and I say investment standpoint for those that are doing this to make money off of it, that's a huge loss. For the personal collector, it's no big deal to wait the 6 months. But I asked the question, if you are an investor and everybody's so high on PSA, how does it make you feel, or how do you feel about waiting 6 months for a card that when you get it back, you could have lost out on a lot of money, and the value is just not there anymore? And you spent the money to get it graded, and you could have really made a killing off of it because for whatever reason, the season has died down and there's another sports season going on, or things kind of leveled off or cooled off, knowing that you could have made X amount of dollars, but instead you have to either almost break even, or you lost money, or you only made just a little bit of profit. So I'm just curious to see the feedback and response on that. On the flip side, you still have GMA that's 14 business days, and some individuals had even posted on there they were getting them still back in 7 to 10 days. Now, I am not a big bulk submitter for GMA or SGC for that matter. I will do 20 cards, maybe max for GMA, and I will do maybe 11 cards at a time max with SGC. I haven't sent to either in a while. I said at the beginning of the week that I would be doing a video for GMA. I just wanted to go through some of the cards that I have established. I haven't sorted out, so I'm going to be honest. I said I'm not just loyal to just one grading company. I'm loyal to just two, actually. So I'm not touching BGS and I'm not touching PSA. And please don't take this as a bash, but I just don't want to wait that long. I don't have the patience to wait that long. Some of these submittals are for personal collection, and some of these are to flip on eBay. So what I'm doing is it's just something simple, of simple cards. We get so caught up. I mean, this is just this year's 2019-20. We get so caught up on the Optic and the Prisms and the Mosaics that these Donruss cards I still think have value. I'm really big on a Deer and Fox. So I'm just going through some of the cards while I talk here. So if you get bored of hearing me, at least you're watching. But I really like a lot of these De'Aaron Fox cards, and so I'm going to get these graded. It might be a 50-50 split between SGC. Sometimes I just try to picture SGC with their black border to get an idea and say, you know what, that card would look really sharp in that tuxedo black. And then I'm like, you know what, I'm cool with it going to GMA. GMA is gaining the momentum. I'm sorry, they are. People need to realize that. And if you have GMA cards for sale online, stop settling. Start bumping up your prices. They're there. I'm selling cards that are GMA 10, especially those high end cards that are selling. And don't get me wrong, I don't have a lot of high end cards, but LeBron James Marvel, his PSA 10 card is going, anywhere from $600. It's gone to $1,000, but the GMA card is going to be right there. I had sold one privately right there. I think it was $75 off the PSA 10. So, guys, start feeling proud about GMA, represent GMA, proudly, and knowing that they are one of the top 4 brands out there for grading companies. So, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I believe that GMA is there. I'm not saying they've arrived, but they've gained enough momentum to be recognized as a top 4. We just got to get eBay now to add them in as their grading company, so you don't have to manually enter it in. So, guys, also, I just wanted to thank those that have subscribed. And keep in mind this, I've watched a few videos. I did watch a video last night of Gary V, and he had 3 individuals on with him, and they discussed the sports card market. And I like to take tidbits out. And just to backtrack for a second here, with me buying that blaster box, and most people are like, buy the raw card, it's not worth the investment. You don't have to listen to what other people say and then do it. What you can do is absorb it, take in the information, absorb it, and then you do you. Do how you want to collect the cards. If you like open and ripping packs, which is fun, I've got to admit, then you go and buy and open and rip packs if you can find them. If you enjoy just buying raw cards and that's all you want is raw cards, then that's what you do. You buy and you collect raw cards and you put them in a top loader or pages, whatever you want to do, and you do that. So it's just a matter of you can take people's advice and then you decide whether or not you want to do anything with it. So I'm my own individual. You're your own individual. That's, again, what makes the whole card collecting nice. I the other day, if you're on the GMA group on Facebook, I posted a whole bunch of plastics, the 9-page plastic holders, and said, anybody interested? I want to do a pay it forward. You just pay for the shipping. I have no idea how many pages I shipped out to one individual. But I can tell you it was 18 pounds. It was $11.92. You know what? I have no use for it. They sat in binders in the bottom of my cabinet that I had stored with my cards, collecting dust. Now, granted, some of those pages, when the individual gets them, he probably won't care to use because I think some of them are discolored. But other those were in really good shape. And so if you're looking to, sort out your sports card collection, and as you know, the top loaders have become very expensive and hard to get. I actually just got 400 top loaders in, and I still don't have enough top loaders for what I have between card collecting and selling on eBay. So, I just buy it a little bit at a time and stack it up, and then store what's waiting for a top loader and as securely in a box as best as possible. So, I'm getting rambling here and I'm not moving on. I'm going to start picking up the piles here. So I'm just giving you guys some different things of what I'm looking at. I like the selects, but the market has caught on to the selects, and a lot of these top ridge, semi-ridge holders, they're scratched up. So it's not the card that's scratched up when you're looking at these. So recently just got in this Matisse. This is a sharp card. And so supplies have gotten harder. And so I don't want to start a new Facebook page, but to pay it forward with the plastics, I actually may end up with a few more plastics. I emptied out like 10 3-inch binders that I put on eBay to sell. They're practically brand new condition, but I'm selling them used. So if somebody's interested in them, you know, they can take a look at my eBay page. I will post that down below in the description. And you can click on that link. If you want to do a private sale, you can send me a message and we can do a private sale, and then I can avoid the eBay fees. So yeah, so I appreciate everybody's support. I appreciate you subscribing. I have, sometimes I forget, guys. So unless there's that reminder, I haven't subscribed. I have subscribed to a lot of individuals that have subscribed to my channel. Guys, I'm watching your videos, so I like to take, you know, some little tidbits, or I never thought of it that way. Good stuff. And then try to apply it to my collecting or my selling, and then also pass it on to other people. So as you can see, and I've talked about it before, I'm really big still on Jason Tatum. I know that the Celtics floundered this year. They didn't do well in the playoffs, but that goes to kudos and my hats off to the Miami Heat for that. So there's definitely money out there if you're looking to make money. There's definitely nice cards out there if you're looking to collect. And if you're doing both, there's the best of both worlds there also. I just think we get so driven by the market that people are so caught up in the fact that, hey, we need to focus on just this. Like these status cards, I think they look sharp. So whereas, oh, you need optic, oh, you need prism, or oh, you need this. You know, guys, there's value in these cards, and I just don't like it being influenced. I can't stop that. It's going to happen. But we can also demand these other cards to be recognized as well. Just talk it up, you know, talk it up with other people that you know, your sports card shops. I mean, some of these cards, these pictures look phenomenal in them, and I'm sorry it's, you know, not all shiny and glossy, but you know, they look sharp, and so I don't think they should be neglected. These recon cards, I like these a lot. This Impact, I'm still secretly valued in on RJ Barrett. I just, you know, he got a raw deal going to the Knicks. Well, this one's the Prism, you know, going to the Knicks with no support. But, you know, I watched a video with somebody that said, you know, you want to start collecting. My secret is Kevin Knox, you know, is a secret guy to collect because, you know, he's got a lot of upside and potential. Just like anything else, just remember, guys, that this is a gamble. You know, if you're getting into the business for selling personal collection, it's a gamble if you think there's going to be this value at the end of the day. I can tell you, I'm disappointed as a 80s child growing up collecting baseball cards to see that my card collection was worth basically nothing. When back in my day, they were talking about people would be trading cardboard for houses, meaning the value of sports cards were going to be so high that you could trade in and sell your collection and buy a house with it, and then to find out that it was basically worth half pennies on the dollar is very disturbing. But please don't discredit the fact that while I don't collect baseball anymore, I do have some baseball cards, not a lot anymore. That, you know, don't forget the veterans that in the era. So for me growing up, you know, it was the Cal Ripkens, the Tony Gwynns, the Ryan Sandberg, the Dwight Goodens, the Darryl Strawberries, the Don Mattingly's, the Wade Boggs. You know, I can go on and on and on and on. The Mark McGuire's, the Barry, you know, so that's what we got to keep in mind is there's still value in the vintage and the older era guys, you know, that did a lot for baseball. And to me, that was the not you take out Barry Bonds and Mark McGuire, but that was the pre-steroid era with the Cal Ripkens and the Wade Boggs and the Don Mattingly's. So, you know, I grew up watching that. You know, I grew up actually as a New York Mets fan as a kid. I was a big Dwight Gooden, Darryl Strawberry card, and I worked hard as a kid to get Darryl Strawberry's Topps rookie, Fleer, and Donruss, and I was proud of that. And his value of his cards back then were like $70, $80. And that was a lot back then. And then to see them not even worth 20, you know, like I said, card grading wasn't there. There's a nice Luca, you know, it just, they catch you with the shiny, but still I think the cards look good when they're slabbed. So high voltage Jimmy Butler. Too bad I didn't say Miami Heat on there, but that's okay. Ja, I like that. You know, there's another Ja. So I just, you know, don't forget about the older vintage cards. I think they're starting to make a comeback. People are catching on to that and realizing, hey, you know, there's some value there. George Mikan, as Gary Vee mentioned in one of his videos, I have a Moses Malone card, rookie card that I got. Yeah, so it's just the sports card market. It's exciting. It's time to get excited. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. If companies like Panini that are getting too big for their britches or their head swelled, and so every time if you go onto their app, their Panini America app, there, to look for cards to buy, and then you see coming out tomorrow in 5 hours, and the box of cards is $800 or $1,000 or whatever it is. You know what? That's how we get back at these companies is, you know what, forget you. I can't afford your cards. You've taken the fun out of it as a collector by making the prices that high. I'll just go on and I will look for the older vintage cards, the wax box era, the junk Brit, and see if I can find a card from back in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, and see if I can find a decent shape, and I'll get that graded and I'll invest in that. So, keep in mind too, there's a lot of guys that have retired recently that I think people just forget about. And you look at their cards. I'm not trying to drive the market up, but I mean, I also said I'm here to help the mid-range guys that are on a budget. Don't forget about the guys like Vince Carter who just retired. I watched him when he played at North Carolina and watched him come all the way through Toronto. I mean, the guy's a Hall of Famer. Don't forget about him. Don't forget about guys like Tim Duncan, David Robinson. I mean, these are guys that had big impacts on the NBA, and we're just so absorbed right now with the Zion and the Ja, and and you got LeBron and Anthony Davis. And I'm not trying to discredit them, but there's other value out there, guys, for you to go look for. So don't forget that, especially if you grew up, in the 80s, 70s, and 80s. And you're just getting back into card collecting, there is value there, and value is personal preference. You have your supply and demand, and you say, how can a card sell for that high of a price? Well, if somebody's willing to pay it, they're going to sell it for that price. Well, that's the thing with Panini is guys or dealers are willing to pay that price, and then they mark it up to try to resell it back to you, or they sell you a pack out of that box still at a decent price. They're making their money back and then some. If the demand gets lowered, the price will get lowered because if they're not making money because they're not moving product, they're going to have to lower the price. So I'm going to try to move on and go back to maybe some of the vintage and get some of that stuff graded, and and still enjoy and be excited about it. Like I said, it's an exciting time for the sports card market. For buying, selling, and for personal collection. So guys, don't let the outside stuff get you. Just come up with other ways. There's cards out there. Matter of fact, to finish up here, I was speaking to a coworker last night about how I was selling sports cards on eBay, and they're like, what do you mean sports cards? I'm like, football, basketball, baseball, I sell that on eBay, make money off of it. And they're like, no way, I got a bunch of cards, and he's got a bunch of baseball cards, and he's close to my age that he had sitting in a basement. So he's like, could I bring them in and you take a look at them and, maybe sell them for me and I pay you a commission? And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I haven't got through all my cards, but you know what? The fact that you just to see the their facial expression of like, it brought back because we got talking and reliving of how we used to trade sports cards. You had them in the pages, or you had them in the old cigar boxes you were storing your cards. You didn't look at scratches and stuff. You made sure you had didn't have ding corners or creases. You didn't care about centering. It was like, as long as the corners are good and there's no creases, hey, I'll trade you these two cards here for your 1987 Mark McGwire was a rookie and his card was worth 5 or 10 cents at the time, and all of a sudden it blew up. So it's just. It was a relived childhood with a coworker who's the same age as me, of our growing up and collecting cards and trading with friends and that excitement there. So and that's what I'm trying to bring back. But I'm not this high roller. I can't compete with these guys on YouTube that are $1,000 boxes opened up, from $4,000 boxes opened up. That's great. I don't want to bring that. I feel that there's more of a crowd of subscribers that would be willing to watch somebody that's middle of the road as far as budget wise. Of guys, this is the only card that I got in this week. I spent $5 on this Jamal Murray card. Okay. And then last week and it finally came in today. I spent $35 on this box. That's it. So I'm $40 vested in on a box of cards and a card. So now I'm looking at, all right, what can I send out? And listen, I can't send out 100 cards. That's great that you get a price break because you sent out 100 cards. At $5 a card or $4 a card, that's still $400. Like, guys, I don't have $400 to spend, okay? I have a family. I have bills to pay. I don't have $400 to spend. So even if you said, listen, well, you've got 1,000 subscribers and you're making money off YouTube, I still don't have $400 to spend. I would rather give back information that was useful for others and stay middle of the road than buying $1,000 box of cards. I don't want to be the person that's sitting on here, and you can quote me on this and you can bring this video back up someday if I do make it big. I do not want to be the guy that's buying the $1,000 box of cards and open them up. That's just not me. Okay. So, guys, I appreciate you taking the time. I will, when my GMA order comes back in, those cards I showed you, there's probably 20 of those that will go out to GMA. Either tomorrow, I might just wait till Monday so it's not shipping over the weekend. And I appreciate you subscribing. Hit us up on Instagram. Check our page out on eBay. I try to put stuff up daily, but as you guys know, life gets busy, so it doesn't happen daily. So I end up doubling up. And guys, keep coming with the feedback. Subscribe down below, hit the bell if you want to be notified when we do a video. Guys, I appreciate it. I really do, from the bottom of my heart. Appreciate your support. Appreciate you subscribing, and I appreciate all your feedback. Even the constructive criticism, I can take it. It's great. I like it, and plus it gets me thinking. So as always, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time.